So, you heard something today at the movie theater.
Now, yeah, I guess like before we get into it, how like political is it?
How do you quantify how political something is?
I don't know. It's just like, oh, are we potentially gonna like fight about it?
I mean, that's entirely up to you.
It's, I guess. I don't think that's like 100% true. I mean, I don't know. It's just how touchy do you think it is?
I mean, I don't know, because I guess to me it doesn't really seem all that touchy. I mean, it is, just because of the nature of it, but like, I feel like I can freely talk about it without, I don't know, bringing emotions into it.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like whatever it is, I've heard about it, but I don't think
I
I
don't
know
see how
any.
you could not have. It's kind of
I don't think I don't know any details. Is this recent or is this like
it's
a
been
month or two?
ongoing for like a while now. I wouldn't say a month, but definitely the past couple of weeks. Oh
I
man, it
think
might have been longer than that actually. It might have been about a month.
okay. I feel like maybe we don't talk about this for too long, but I am
Okay.
curious what it is. But let me give the facts that I know.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the movies, we just saw The Northman.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
Should follow us on Letterboxd to see how we really feel about it. Joseph, it'll take him about 2 weeks.
I take like a week to log stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I try to give myself like sometimes I give myself time to think about it, or it's half like giving myself time to think about it as well as like being lazy and just not wanting to do it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like I'll do it later, and then like I don't know what the sweet spot is, but a week isn't it? And so by the time it's like a week rolls around, I'm like, oh, I need to log this before I forget.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've kind of like forgotten my thoughts about it at that point.
Wow.
So it's not like a perfect system, but
Anyways.
it takes me some time to get to it. Anyway, saw The Northman. We were walking to the restroom after leaving, and I overheard a family mention that they didn't like Disney anymore, and I was very curious as to why that is. Because I think I don't know. I guess in public, if people are having open conversations, I like to listen in on them. It's interesting.
You're just admitting that you eavesdrop on everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I can understand that.
Yeah.
I do love a good.
They're not. It's not like they're
eavesdrop.
being private. Like it's.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But what is it? So I think the reason I was curious, yeah, they said they didn't like Disney anymore. But I think I was curious because I was like, oh, I wonder where this family will like fall in what their reasoning is for not liking Disney. Because I feel like it could go either way. They could be conservative and they could be like, yo, Disney's too. I don't know. We'll just say Disney's too like gay or something, too liberal.
Okay.
And then or they could be liberal and they could be like, yo, Disney's not gay enough. Disney's too conservative, you know? I think it could fall either way. Sadly, obviously I'm not gonna just like stand there and continue to eavesdrop. We have to continue our mission to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But they mentioned something about something in Florida and how Disney responded to it, and they didn't like that. Now I don't know where that means they fall politically, but they didn't like it, and so that's why they don't like Disney anymore. From now, what I do know about Disney in Florida, I feel like I heard about some sort of like I don't know if lobbying is the right word, but some sort of like laws trying to be put in place so that like Disney has to start paying taxes in Florida because apparently they're not making all that money in that park, but not supporting the state and the economy. And then I heard something about don't say gay.
Okay.
I don't know what it means, but I've heard that phrase somewhere.
Okay.
That's all I know. Now,
Okay.
I guess tell me what's going on with Disney in Florida. I'm curious.
Well,
Oh,
uh, well,
it's been a while
it
since.
has been a while. I haven't been able to explain anything to you for a bit. So, I'm just gonna start from the beginning so I don't get like sidetracked. I legit can't remember when this happened because the news cycle, it moves real fast. But
Too
Florida,
fast, some may say.
I would agree with some of them. Florida governor, his name is Ron DeSantis. Well, I don't know if this is him or like Florida legislators, but he like signed the bill. But anyways, there's some legislation in Florida and other states. Florida's not the only one. They're just really prominent right now because of what's going on with Disney. But the bill has an actual name. I just don't know what it is, but it's being called the Don't Say Gay bill.
Mm-hmm.
And the terms of the bill basically are that teachers in public schools cannot discuss anything related to like sexuality or gender identity at all if they teach grades kindergarten through third grade.
Hmm.
And if they do, it has to be age appropriate. I know that the phrase age appropriate is in the like wording of the bill. But with that, to me, and this is me interjecting here, but that's not really going on anyways because I mean Florida, I don't know how it works like district to district or school to school, but I'm willing to bet that these kids aren't getting really any kind of sex education until middle school, and even then it might be abstinence only. I don't know where Florida falls on that. So to me it seems like it's almost like critical race theory where it's not even going on at all, but they're just making preemptive legislature to like posture about it, which is weird. So back to the facts. This is end of interjection. Florida is one of the biggest employers in the state. Florida? Did I say Florida? Disney. Disney is one of the biggest employers in the state of Florida because the theme park is there and they have a lot of people working there and thus they have a lot of people living there. Now, Florida has these special districts that are like, I really don't know how it works, but I just know that they're kind of separate from regular districts of Florida. And I don't even know if this is something that like other states have or if it's just like a Florida thing, but honestly, I don't know how like the whole districting thing works, but I know that the parks and probably like some neighborhoods and stuff where like employees live is called the Reedy Creek Improvement District. And I think what happens is that a lot of the money that's generated within it doesn't really go back to the state. It goes back to things like infrastructure, I think was one of the main ones. So like roads and pipes and stuff like that. And these parks, they generate a lot of money. So all of that is going to be going back really just kind of into the parks and into that district and not to Florida at large. Or, what other district they would, like regular district they would be in. So this bill gets introduced into legislature, and at first Disney doesn't say anything about it. They just don't say anything. And of course, since I think now this is me hearing it from other gay people. I'm not one of them. Oh God, that sounds so bad. I'm not a member of the LGBTQ community, so I can't really say. But I think Disney means a lot to them.
Aaron.
What?
You're telling me you're not the spokesperson for the LGBT? Who have I been talking to this whole time? You're a fraud. You're not at all who I thought you were. I thought you were the number one spokesperson for the LGBTQ.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Podcast over. I'm Aaron. I don't know what to believe anymore. Anyway, go on.
So I think Disney, it's kind of, really popular with the gays, we'll say. And they're kind of upset that Disney was just kind of staying mum on the whole thing, considering that, Disney, at least that park, they're in Florida. So you would think they would say something about it. And I think at some point, honestly, this feels like it happened a long time ago, but at some point they put out some kind of middle of the road statement just being like, hey, we love our gay Disney family members, and I don't know if they like explicitly stated whether or not they supported the bill. Honestly, I remember my impression when I read it was just that it was kind of bland, like they didn't really explicitly say anything. They're just kind of saying it so that, people would be appeased. And so at some point, I think whomstever, I'm just going to say Ron DeSantis, did not like this. This statement was taken from him, at least, to be an anti this bill. And so he decides, it's time to make Disney pay. We're going to show them what happens when you don't follow the establishment. So what they did is they introduced legislature to completely get rid of all of the special districts within Florida, the Reedy Creek Improvement District being one of them. And it passed the Senate. I don't know if it passed the House yet or if DeSantis signed it. So I don't know how far it's gone, but it looks like it's going to get passed. And so obviously this would be kind of bad for Disney because that district itself holds, I want to say, I see the number $2 billion passed around a lot, but it holds $2 billion of debt of some kind. And once that district gets dissolved, all of that debt is going to go to the people of Florida into their taxes, which if there's one thing I know about Republicans, it's that they don't like paying taxes. So honestly, even if this is kind of a bad thing for Disney and a bad thing for Floridians in general, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because Ron DeSantis is up for re-election this year and the midterms are coming up fast. So it remains to be seen whether or not he's lost any of his base's support. I mean, Ron DeSantis is perplexingly really popular in Florida, despite the fact that, number one, he pushed a lot of anti-vax stuff back when that was popular. I mean, it still is, but back in the height of COVID, and therefore a lot of his typically Republican followers ate it up. They So what happened is that a lot of these people ended up, of course, not being vaccinated, and a lot of them ended up dying. There's a not insignificant portion of the Florida population, specifically of Republicans, that are dead now. And you could say it's because of DeSantis. So it's kind of interesting to see what will happen.
You'd say, I don't know, I guess because of his influence.
Well, yes, and that would be because of him. But, I mean, he didn't go to people's houses and shoot them, but he might as well have done that, with the...
No, those are two different things.
Well,
People
Joseph,
can make
are you unfamiliar with the concept of a metaphor?
I don't think it's a good metaphor.
All right, whatever. We're moving past it. But, was that outside?
Yeah, it was knocking.
Oh,
I thought it was guns.
No, I was just wondering.
Oh my God, it's DeSantis.
He's coming to get us. But yeah. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens in the midterms because of this. If this gets passed, but I think you and I both know this, just being film enthusiasts and being film students. But the Disney Corporation is ginormous, and they have a lot of influence, and it's going to be interesting to see if this thing even gets passed because that improvement district being dissolved is not going to be great for Disney, the corporation.
Their bottom line.
Yeah. And I mean, they are a corporation. They care about money more than really anything, more than their gay Disney family members. So at the end of the day, if this hurts them financially, they are going to fight it. So this is going to be really, really interesting to see what goes on with Disney versus the Florida state legislature and the citizens of Florida versus DeSantis. And it's not just people who live in the area of Disney that are going to be, well, actually, that's hearsay. I don't know whether or not it is. Is it going to be, the people within whatever new district is going to be drawn up that will have that $2,800, I'm assuming per year. I see that number, but they don't say in what time frame. Is it a month? Is it a year? Either way, it still feels like a lot. Especially, I don't know what the median household income of Florida is, but taking $2,800 from that still kind of feels like a lot, extra that wasn't there before, taking that out of people's incomes. So I'm honestly very interested to see what's going to go down in these next couple of months. But yeah, that's the long and short of it. And I guess because, Ron DeSantis has reach outside of the state of Florida, apparently, some people outside of Florida are just gonna hop on the bandwagon and not like Florida anymore, or not like Disney anymore. So I did see I saw this really weird opinion piece from some conservative person being we should stop going to Disney World, we should go to Dolly World. But what they don't know, Dollywood. Is it Dollywood?
I don't know.
Dolly Parton's theme park in
I think Dollywood. Dollywood sounds right.
But not Dollywood. Dollywood, yes, but also Dolly Parton is like a huge supporter of the LGBTQ community. So it's like, what are you doing?
It's funny.
Yeah, it was really funny seeing that. But yeah, that is the long and short of it. And now hearing that, what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are your musings?
I don't know. I mean, I think if something hurts Disney and their bottom line, I feel like that's probably good. I feel like they need to be taken down a peg because they are ginormous.
Yeah.
And
some monopoly busting needs to be going on over there. But however, this is kind of just the theme parks, not really like Disney, the media company, or Disney, the any other arms that they have. So like, how monopolized are their like parks really? You know. But in general, I think there needs to be some monopoly busting.
So yeah, I think hurting Disney, not entirely a bad thing. I mean, it kind of sounds bad, like coming out of my mouth right now, but it's like they're a corporation. Who cares?
Yeah.
What else? I think something I don't like about Disney is like they kind of claim they like to claim they have like messages or whatever, but like it's a corporation. It's like they are going to be apolitical unless it's actively like hurting them, or they're going to be like barely political of like, I guess, pandering to whichever side, the slightest bit, because it will benefit them. And yeah, so like them supporting it, I don't think that's not like a genuine move. You know what I mean? I don't think that's like, oh my God, Disney, like, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
I just think it's like they had to give an answer because someone was like, hey, Disney, what do you think of this? And they're like, shoot, what? Like they do the equations, they type on their calculator. They're like, which will make us more money? Oh, okay, supporting it. Yeah. So yeah, we support it. Like, I think that's
also in this day and age, it would be really weird not to support the LGBTQ community. I mean, obviously there are people doing it for reasons, but I feel like, you know, not doing that will get you in hot water like real quick. So I mean, it is just kind of human rights at this point, you know. But anyway.
But yeah, I guess that's my thoughts on it.
Well, this is the 14th episode of the Not Just Arin podcast. We're almost okay. 6 is kind of far away from 20, but we are almost at 20. Let's see. We've been doing this for roughly 14 weeks. We took a week off, but. Yeah, we've been doing this for quite some time now. Let's make it to 52 weeks. That would be nice if we can.
You're gonna oof his name, but we gotta do better than because his podcast, he did that for like a year. Yeah.
Only 52 episodes.
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. Now I'm fueled by spite, and we will do it.
Exactly. No, I think because like he did it for a year. Then I think stopped for like a year and then picked up for like a couple episodes, and then that was it from what I looked into. But maybe he's still doing it. I don't know.
Interesting.
But all this is we learned from John. Yeah.
Well, I am Arin, and you are.
I am. Help! I'm being held hostage.
Oh my God! Just say it. Oh my God. Do you all see what I have to deal with?
Melissa does.
What I have to deal with on a weekly
Melissa
basis?
texted me. She celebrated. She was like, "Yay, you said it." She was like, "Yay, you said it." I am Joseph. That is my name, my legal name, given at birth. And I refuse to be called anything else.
Anyway. Well, I had a great time last week. You weren't there. You should have. Oh my. Joseph, you should have been there. You should have been there. You should have been there.
Say it a couple more times. I don't think the audience heard you.
But it would have been nice if you were there. So I went to a concert last Saturday. Let's see, what's today? Today's Saturday. So this time last Saturday, I was I think just what was I doing? I was just sitting. No, I was watching
Last
Era.
Saturday, I was sitting.
No, I think it started right at 7. So I think at this point, Era's set would have been in full swing, and it was the best. So I went to see the Below Tour Part 2. They came to New Orleans, and it was so great. My only regret is that I didn't buy any merch because I didn't see where the merch table was. I was so ready to spend so much money, and I couldn't even find it.
You want to spend $30 on a sticker?
I'll spend $30 on a shirt, not a sticker. I don't have a
40 or
use
50
for
for a
stickers.
shirt.
It wouldn't have been that much.
I don't know about that. Well, it depends how known they are, but I don't know. I mean, I've only been to one concert, but I've been to events where it's like they're selling merch, and usually the merch at like live events is heavily marked up, and I find that annoying.
I probably still would have paid though, because wow, I don't have any Era merch. That's sad. And I want it. Well, I mean, I have a vinyl, but I consider that more to be like wall art, I guess. But yeah, you should have been there. We would have had so much fun.
Yeah, I love metalcore. That's my favorite genre.
It still would have been fun though. It would have been a new experience though. Just you got to go outside of your comfort zone. You got to, do new things. Stand in line when it's like kind of hot and humid.
I feel like that's easy for you to say because I feel like what was this your comfort zone or no?
I mean, I've never really been to a metal show before, but it is music that I listen to already. So, but I still feel like, aside from country, just because how the crowds might be. Depending on the artist, that's heavily dependent on the artist, but I feel like I would be willing to go to really any genre of music's concert. I would go to a Nightcore rave.
What about Travis Scott concert?
Well, I like having a life, so I won't do that. But I mean, no, it still wouldn't happen.
Wait, is Nightcore? My only knowledge of Nightcore is like
the sped up meme songs.
Yeah, like the weed music. That's what I think of it as.
Honestly, okay, I'm not 100% sure what Nightcore is. I just kind of lump it in with all the other rave music. So I would love to go to a rave, just not do any drugs there because then the experience would be ruined. But gosh, like a Taylor Swift concert, like, I mean, you name a genre. Like
I'm not good with genres.
Oh, well, I would be willing,
Yodeling.
I mean, hey, it would be different. It would be fun. I would have a story to tell. So yeah, especially if it's a good yodeler.
A good yodel. I'll never turn down a good yodel.
Oh no.
Oh no, her headphones fell out.
Yeah, it was honestly last Sunday morning, I actually felt sad because it's probably gonna be
it was over.
Yeah, and because it's probably gonna be a long time before I can get to do that again because these bands, they don't come down here. They come to New Orleans occasionally. They certainly don't come to Mississippi. I mean, I might have some luck with Birmingham. And of course, I mean, at this point, for me, Atlanta's just kind of too far away. If I want to spend some money, I might be able to fly somewhere in Texas, but it's not like I have a new show to go to every weekend. I don't live in a place like that, and I know you're taunting me with that thread, and I don't care. I don't wear these socks.
No, I was waiting for a moment to ask for permission to pull this string off of the sock.
I mean, go ahead. Okay. I guess.
I don't think it'll actually remove. Let's see. Oh no.
See, now you're just ruining my equipment.
Yeah, equipment.
You can't pull it. You gotta snap it.
It's elastic. I could have gotten some scissors, but that required leaving. Now my fingers hurt.
Oh,
Look what you did, Arin.
That's your fault.
Why is your equipment falling apart? It was distracting me. Every time I breathe out of my nose, it would just wiggle. And I was like, I can't focus like this. Here, you want to throw it away?
No, just put it on the table.
Here you go. Here, wait. There you go.
Anyway.
The disrespect.
I also felt a little sad at the end of it, too, because, I was just kind of there by myself. It would have been really nice to have someone to share that experience with, but alas, I am the only person I know who listens to that kind of music. But it was really interesting just being in a room full of people who, share that one, I guess, really specific interest with you. And that was interesting. I mean, I didn't really do any mingling. I wasn't down on the floor. I was up in the balcony. So I didn't really talk to anybody, but I don't know. It would have been nice to share that with someone. Not to guilt trip you or anything like that, but you should have went. I would have I was fully willing to pay for your ticket, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
You didn't say that.
I should have said that.
You
Yeah.
see, I feel like, you can't fool me. This is 100% guilt trip.
No, it's not. I was.
Why would you say it after the fact?
Because now I'm like kind of regretting that I didn't say it.
Oh.
Because we would have had so much fun. You definitely, I don't know how you feel about loud noises, but you definitely would have needed some earplugs.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can enjoy a good loud noise, but like, I don't know. I don't want to be in pain. You know what I mean? Like,
I wasn't in pain. It was really loud, and I ended up taking my...
You had earplugs.
Yeah, but I took them out.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted to feel it in here. But I was pointing to my heart, blind viewers. But
the males of the audience.
Anyways, it was loud, but it wasn't like sharp noises, if that makes sense. It didn't like hurt, but it was loud.
I feel like there was like a sharp noise. Some of the yelling in the Northman was kind of sharp. I was like,
Yeah.
That was just occasional. But yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't that bad. I will say. Quick review. I do have like footage and stuff, and I am planning on putting together a video, but I feel like I don't have enough B-roll because during the concert, I wasn't trying to like get pictures and video. I was just trying to vibe.
Live in the moment.
Yeah. But let's see. Era, they went on first very unexpectedly. No introduction or anything. They just started playing. That was wild. That caught me off guard, but it was great. Honestly, I'm gonna say I get why people go to church now. I don't know if you remember when we would go to chapel at Bellhaven, and without fail, just about every week, there'd be one or two people with like their hands up. You know the ones. Yeah, and that was me.
I mean, not specifically the ones, but yeah,
Well,
I saw
not the
people
ones,
with their
but,
hands up.
There always.
I was like, oh yeah, that was Becky. You know what I mean? And John.
But no, there'll always be a couple people with their hands up, like really, really vibing. But of course, I can't vibe to that kind of music. It's just not. It feels weird. But anyways, that was me basically during the entire Era set, especially when they played Night to Silence.
But you had your hands up?
Yes.
And
I was like, I was just like those people in chapel, honestly. And I just really like their music so much. And according to the people sitting next to me, they like never come to the South, which is really weird because they're from Alabama. That's so disrespectful. Where are you from, Alabama? You don't come down here. I'm personally upset about that as a fellow Alabamian. So anyway, up next after them was The Devil Wears Prada, which is the Christian band that I told you about last time. Yeah, last time. And honestly, they put on a really good show. I only know like a couple songs from them, and it's kind of like the older ones, but they had really great energy. The like production was great. I always liked how their instrumentation sounded on their tracks, but like hearing that live, it was like different. It like hit different, but in a good way. After that was Silverstein. Their bassist was like 8 feet tall. He was so tall. Like, oh my God. When they were
8
setting,
feet.
Probably not 8 feet, but when they were like setting up their microphones and everything, these are like grown men carrying this stuff out. And like one of the microphones was like super high up, and I'm like, is this correct? And then he comes out and he's like so tall. So I don't know what his name is, but all my Silverstein heads out there, you probably know who I'm talking about. But that was really interesting. Seeing them, especially when they played My Heroine and like all of the instrumentals cut out and they just let us sing the chorus, all of us together in that one room just singing along to a song that we all knew very well. That was a really interesting experience. And then those are the 3 openers. And then Beartooth came out. Not super duper big fans of them, but really if we're being honest, I only went to see Era. And I got that, and I got some bonus extras too, so that was nice. Caleb Shoma puts on a good show. I thought he was gonna like play the keyboard or something, because he played keyboard on Someday Came Suddenly, which, I mean, gosh, that was years ago. But he's actually really good at the piano, because, okay, I'm telling you these things, you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna try to refrain from doing that. So never mind.
I'm meanwhile just looking at and studying everything on the table.
I'm trying to tell you about this fun experience I had. Now, you don't know what I'm talking about. But
I'm listening, but it was definitely, I feel like I thought it was funny because you're just like, oh, wait a minute, like he's not talking at all.
Yeah, well, anyway, he was
I'm glad you had a good time.
Thank you. That concert lasted for a super long time because they started at 7 and I got back to my hotel room at like midnight. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
5 hours.
Yeah. So it was honestly by the end of it, I was kind of yawning.
You had to do that with your fingers?
Joseph, we've already established this. I'm not good at math.
Yeah, I know, but I think every episode I learned that like you have like a first grade level math.
Okay, hold on. That's not 100% true. I could do some things. It's just there's
7 to 12.
We're not talking about it.
8, 9.
It didn't take me that long. I just
10,
need to like visualize it. That's all.
11.
You're being extra.
Yeah, I know, but it's fun. I thought eventually, the slower I went, I thought you would crack. I thought you would laugh eventually. She was too offended to laugh.
Exactly. But yeah, it lasted kind of a long time. Being out after dark was interesting. I'll say this. I think weed got legalized in Louisiana at some point because the last time I was there, it just smelled like pee and vomit. But now it smells like weed and pee. So the vomit got replaced with weed. So that was interesting. They were also like vaping inside of the venue. So they had like smoke machines like on stage. But every now and again, I would see a plume come up from the floor.
A plume.
Because people were ripping fat vape clouds during the concert.
They bought the H3 custom vape.
Yeah.
The giant backpack one.
Yeah, people were crowd surfing. That was interesting. Somebody threw a bra up. That was wild. They just kind of...
Don't pretend it wasn't you.
No, it wasn't me. I was way up in the balcony.
Yeah, I didn't know you had such a good arm. Like...
Anyway. Yeah, people crowd surfing.
She said somebody. I don't know who, but...
It definitely wasn't
It was me. I actually was there.
What else? Oh, seeing a mosh pit in person, that was interesting. The pit, it was kind of more below me, so I couldn't really see it that well, but yeah, that was people were just like throwing things. I think somebody went up and like grabbed a shoe off the balcony because someone had like thrown it up there. But yeah, that was it was certainly an experience I will never forget unless I developed dementia at a sadly young age. So I just kind of wish that I took more pictures and video and that I actually bought some merch. So, you know, driving home on that really long I-95 bridge, like in a swamp, it was, I was happy, but it was somber for a number of reasons. So that is my review of it. And the video will be out whenever I get around to it.
Yo, did we watch different movies? I don't remember any of that in The Northman.
Oh my God. That was hardly funny.
Yeah, you laughed though.
No, that wasn't a genuine laugh. I laughed to humor you.
Yeah, I gotta work on my delivery then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
and
now
you need to work on your math and your improv. Especially your math.
Okay, we're moving past the mathematics, okay? I've graduated college.
We should do an episode where I give you a math quiz.
That would be so mean. Are you kidding me? I would start getting flashbacks. I might actually cry on the podcast. We cannot do that.
That'd be lit.
No, it wouldn't.
You should watch a movie about math. Like some Bill Nye, some Schoolhouse Rock. And just like, that's going to be what makes you cry. Never seen you cry during a movie, but we're going to watch Bill Nye being like, numbers. And you're
He doesn't do math on that show.
Yeah,
It's
I know. He's
science.
the science guy. I know.
Exactly.
Math and science are
Not
very
connected.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yeah, you'd like to pretend to because you don't know half of it then.
This is too much. This I can't take the math hatred.
Arin,
any
what's no, never mind. I don't know.
Anyway.
I thought about getting like not just now. I've actually been thinking about this since like I don't know the past 2 weeks or something. I thought about getting a piece of paper, writing on it like what is it? We'll just say like 4/5 and 8/10, and ask you like what's the difference? And it's like clearly there's a difference, like, but they're the same number, Arin.
Yeah.
You convert them to decimals. I know you like decimals a little bit more.
Who said that?
You did.
When?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because you don't like fractions.
No.
Yes.
Listen, this was just specifically about how you talk about ratings on Letterboxd.
Really?
That's it. Yes.
No, I don't know. You seem to be confused when I give a rating that isn't representative
I'm
on
not.
isn't
I'm not
represented
confused.
on
I'm just.
Letterboxd.
I am confused, not at the
Yeah.
numbers, but why you would do that.
Because
Especially considering it's an out of 5-star system.
Uh-huh.
We discussed this before, not on the podcast, but like I said, if you were talking about a review that you gave on IMDb, it would make sense because it's out of 10.
Uh-huh.
Letterboxd is not out of 10, it's out of 5.
Uh-huh.
So saying you gave it something out of 10, that doesn't make sense because that's not how the rating system works. And if we're talking about, I don't know, Metacritic or something like that, it's not even a, I don't know, fractional system. It's out of 100.
It's still... That's not a fractional system.
It doesn't give the score as a fraction, gives it as a number out of 100.
That's a fraction.
It's not a fraction. It's not presented as a fraction. It's presented as a number.
Something out of 100 is like...
Okay, but it doesn't... When you see those little squares on a website saying a Metacritic score, it doesn't say out of 100. It just says the number.
But you know it's out of 100.
Okay, but that's implied.
Oh, man, she's
see,
getting
you're
so
doing this
heated.
just to get to me. We gotta get
I feel
past
like
this
you're
math
too
stuff.
easy to get to.
Because...
And I'm not even doing it because of that. It's like, let me tell you, of all the people I've talked to about Letterboxd, oh my God, of all the people I've talked to about Letterboxd, which it's not a very long list, let's say like you and like 5 other people, you're the only one that has an issue where I refer to my scores as a number out of 10.
Because it's not how it works on the site. Oh my God. How is that hard to understand?
I'm the one who has a hard time understanding.
Oh my God. Maybe you don't know that I have a lot of, deep-seated traumas around math,
Do you?
Not
Don't lie
as-
about it. Lying about your trauma is even worse.
Well, I mean, it's not...
You a poser? You got trauma poser?
No, but I did legitimately have a really bad, hard time with math growing up, all the way up until college, honestly. And it's got me wondering if there's, like, something wrong with me because of it, because my comprehension of some math concepts just never developed. And I don't know if it was just my schooling or if it's just, like, actually something wrong with me, but... Me and math at some point, honestly, it's not even at some point. It's probably like after the first grade. There's no connection there. Like me and other subjects, I can get with it. The only non-math subject that I ever made a bad or not great grade on growing up was chemistry in the, I want to say 10th grade, because the only thing we were doing there was converting like chemical reactions or whatever it is, and it involved like really complicated math, and I made a C in that class at the end of the year. So there you go. And I was actually so happy when I finally completed quantitative reasoning, which is the only math class that I've excelled in because it doesn't have numbers in it, or it does, but it very rarely uses numbers to actually like do math. And so I was so happy when I was done with that class. That had to be like my sophomore, maybe junior year, because then I would never have to do math at like a academic level ever again. And in my adult life and in my work life, I don't encounter math that much. And if I do encounter it, there are tools online that I can use that will help me with it so that I don't have to do anything like major and I'm not getting graded on it. And I don't know, how do I say this? My parents aren't disappointed in me because I can't figure something out. So, there you go.
But how does that make you feel?
Joseph. So I'd really like if we
You
stopped all
flick
of
the
this.
fuzz?
It's not...
Throw it in the trash. Throw it in the trash. On my floor? Podcast over. I'm turning off the recording.
No, get away. Stop. But anyway, there's your Arin and math lore.
Yeah. I mean, I could have guessed as much. It's not that interesting.
Okay.
I like math. I was pretty good at it.
Well,
But
that's
in high
where
school,
you and I differ.
in high school, it's very popular to not like math. But in my adult life now, I'm like, math, kind of fun sometimes, you know?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
My strategy, well, whatever, I'll talk about it. My strategy for the ACT, I was more or less okay at, the rest of the subjects. Because, I mean, the major ones is like English and, like, reading. And then the optional writing portion, which is, like, an easy 30 on that part. But my strategy for math on the ACT was just to mark something. If I looked at a problem and I didn't immediately know how to solve it, I just marked something and move on. And as a result of that, I ended up making a 15 on the math portion in the ACT, which was not great, which led me to have to take remedial math in college. So.
What? Wait, how does your ACT score affects what
So basically,
classes you have to take in college?
yes, if you're under a certain score, which the threshold isn't very high, which tells you how bad I did. But if you're under a certain...
What's the threshold?
I can't remember. I want to say it was like
16.
18. So if you're under that for a specific subject, you have to take a remedial course before you can move on to the regular ones. And that remedial course does not count towards your like regular credits, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking it and you're paying for it, and it's like, could have just done better on the ACT instead of taking and paid for this class, which I had to take it twice, by the way. Because
the class?
Yes. Because the first time I took it, it was a night class, and it was 3 hours from like 6 to 8:30, which at that time, I was sticking to a very strict 8 o'clock bedtime. So like halfway through the class, I was mentally checked out. And it wasn't a traditional like class. We weren't really like taught anything. It was basically an online class, but we had to show up to a physical classroom. And so after a certain point, I was like, you know what? I can't do this. So I withdrew from it. And I can't remember if it actually had an effect on my GPA or not, but I remember getting a letter from like the registrar or something saying like, hey, you're failing this class, you gotta do something about that. But then I had to like email them back being like, I already withdrew from it, so it's whatever. So I had to re-enroll in that next semester, and that ended up being so the night class, that was like once or twice a week, I can't remember. And the next time I took it, it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it was only 50 minutes. So that was way better for me because it was less time. It was in the morning when I actually had think juice. So it ended up working out, but there is some lore there between me and math. So there you go. So I'd appreciate if you stopped making fun of me about it.
No, I would appreciate it if you stopped freaking out when I said, yo, this movie's an 8 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10.
We can have a compromise. How about that? You don't make fun of me in math anymore, and I will try in my brain to understand what you mean when you say out of 10 on Letterboxd.
Oh my god.
Just, I already told you all the lore. There's no disbelief that needs to be had.
But I like how you're like, your compromise is like barely a compromise. You're like, hey, stop making fun of me about my difficulties with math, and I'll like, what is it? I'll like try and not freak out every time you say the wrong score about Letterboxd.
Well, hold on, I didn't even say the wrong score. Anyway, see, doing this again. It's it set it off all over again.
I don't think I'm misrepresenting your words. I'm exaggerating them a little bit, but I think like you could have, for my side of the bargain, you could have been like nicer or more giving of just like, you stop making fun of me for math and I'll stop saying stuff about the scores. But you're like, I'll try and understand what goes on when you say the scores or whatever.
Whatever. Just anyway.
You just got Ben Shapiro, facts and logic.
Anyway. And I'll add one more thing, and we're going to move on from the math. But I think, the whole me not being good at math thing was especially difficult because growing up, I was kind of, I won't say good, but I was decent at most subjects, and I was also in the gifted program. So there's like this whole other layer of expectations being like, oh, you're in the gifted program, you must be good at everything. You're going to, you're so amazing academically, and you're so like smart and everything like that. Even though I said this in my video about the gifted program, but I don't think I ever mentioned this to you, but when I was in middle school, we had this just witch of a teacher. She was not nice for our gifted class, and for whatever reason, I can't remember why. I think somebody must have asked about it, being like, hey, what is our IQ? Because we take this test when we're in the second grade that determines whether or not we get into gifted in the third grade. And I guess the teacher told this person their score, but for whatever reason, they went out of their way to like tell me that I had the lowest IQ in the whole class. And I was like 13 or something. You got to understand what that does to a person. So, like, you know, I'm getting kind of sad thinking about it now, but I feel like for me, academically, there are a lot of expectations put on me, even though in reality, aside from like English and writing, I was just an okay student. And I did well at history because I like learning about history, but that's about it, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. That's why it's kind of a sore subject for me. And hopefully you understand that now and stop making fun of me about it.
The math?
Yes.
I mean, IQ doesn't have to do with math.
I mean, no, but no, it doesn't have anything to do with math, but you know,
I'm questioning your intelligence.
Yeah, basically, and it's like, you know, that teacher doing that, it made me feel bad. I mean, there's no other way to say it.
No, that's pretty mean. I think it is mean. I agree with you. I think potentially a different way to look at it is like, even if you had like the lowest IQ in the class in the gifted program, which again, very mean. I don't think the teacher should have called that out. It's not right. But I would assume it's still above whoever's not in the gifted program.
Well, I mean, I guess, but if you think about it, there are some people who definitely should have been in that program. It's just that in the second grade, they didn't do very well on a test, which is why I maintain that the gifted program doesn't really do a whole lot for students other than give them high expectations about themselves and then just kind of spit them out with like no support in high school, because it ends when you get to high school. But if you like have an IEP, which technically we did as gifted students, but basically what that means, if you're like in special education classes, we'll say that support continues into high school. For us, we went from gifted to like honors classes, which were really just like regular classes. So there's no bridge for that. We're just kind of cut off, you know? And then you like go out into the world thinking, I was in a gifted class, I was in honors classes, I made high on the ACT, which I personally didn't. But, you know, a typical student, it would go out with all these other people who did super well and got into these like great colleges and realize, you know, they're a, I guess, what's the phrase? Small fish in a big pond. When before they were a big fish in a small pond. So there's this thing, it's not like a real thing, but it's I guess a meme of sorts around former gifted students. It's called, I want to say like gifted kid syndrome or something like that, where basically after they're like, I don't know, they're hyped up their whole childhoods being like, oh, you're the top, you're the best, and you're everything great. And a lot of like, I don't know, value is put into academics more than anything else. And then they go out into the real world and they realize how little any of that matters. And it's just kind of like, ugh, well, how do I base my self-value now? And for me, thankfully, I feel like it never got to that point. Like, I personally didn't put a lot of value in my academics because, number one, this is going to sound really conceited, but for certain subjects, it didn't really take me a whole lot to do well in them. I could just, like, exist in class and get an A. And that might be more about my school and how little they cared, so they just passed everyone on. But really what mattered to me was my creative pursuits. So I feel like, you know, I put value into that instead of just, like, pure academics.
So if that's true, like you didn't put like your self-worth in that, then why would me making fun of your inability at math, why would that hurt your feelings?
Because growing up, like, I don't know, just the way that, I don't know, man. I just remember, okay, I'm going to relate to you a series of memories, and hopefully you can put together something with that. But I remember being in the second grade, and we were learning about even and odd numbers, and I think the teacher asked, okay, is the number 4, is it even or is it odd? And I mean, I don't know, I don't think the concept was really explained to me very well, so I didn't really understand the, like, differences between even and odd, like what made a number even, what made a number odd. It felt really arbitrary to me as, like, a 7-year-old. And so everyone else said even, and I said odd, and I'm like, well, what's going on? Why am I wrong? Like, what is going on here? So I think another thing that really got me, like, in school, I feel like this is only from, like, kindergarten to maybe 3rd or 4th grade, but one unit we would always do in our math classes would be elapsed time. And without fail, I would always, like, fail. Well, well, not fail, obviously, because if I like failed it, then it would be like a problem. But I never did very well with elapsed time. And then, of course, around the time it came time to like learn times tables, so maybe like third grade. Obviously, I wasn't doing very well in school with them, and so I had to like go home and learn it. And I think at that point, my mom, who was a math teacher, by the way, an elementary math teacher, she just got really frustrated with trying to tell me these times tables. Which I mean, to an adult, I guess it's like really simple, but to me, it's like just a mental block there. I can't. I mean, obviously, the easy ones are easy, but I still struggle with like the fours. You try to ask me what 4 times 7 is, I'm gonna freak out a little bit in my head. So, because like there's just the fours are really hard. One is one. 2 is easy. 3 was fine. 4 was just rough. 5 was fine. 6 probably was hard, but for some reason the 4s always stick out to me. The 4s times tables is just like, I think of them and I get like flashbacks, because my mom would just be like, no, I remember this so vividly. Oh my goodness. Was it 7 times 8? What's 7 times 8? Is it whatever one that's like 56? What's see? I gotta look at a
I feel like
calculator.
it's 56.
Oh, what, 7 times 8? Let me see.
Maybe not.
7 times 8. Yes, it was 7 times 8. And she would just yell at me like 56, 56, 56. And obviously I was a child, so I started crying, and that like really stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like anytime I see the number 56, I remember that, which is like so
Sweating.
weird. Yeah.
So, well, I mean, you don't necessarily have to go into all this lore, but like, I don't know. I feel like there is a discrepancy if you're like, oh, it's not my, well, I don't know. It seems like you're like, oh, it's not my self-worth, but then you're like, oh, I'm kind of, you sound kind of like insecure about it.
Well, I mean, I guess, but I feel like that was part of it though, because, I guess now me as an adult, and I guess going closer into high school and also college, and like now, I guess, I didn't really put that much emotional or self-worth value into academics. But considering that everything else was so easy for me, and then math was the one thing where I just could not figure out how to do anything, that really, it's like, why is this one thing just like so hard? Out of everything that comes like naturally to me, why is math the thing that doesn't? So, because in elementary school, when I was I was always at an advanced reading level. Like, I would always, we had the accelerated reader system, which basically you read a book, you take a test to get some points. And I always had the most points out of the class, like pretty consistently, especially like, I want to say kindergarten to like third grade. And I was always reading books like above my reading level. And like, that was always really hyped up by adults for me. So, there's this one thing that I'm really good at that comes naturally to me, because reading is fun. Like, reading is objectively fun. You get to see whole stories and like have a whole adventure with like words. Like, how's that not going to appeal to a kid, But like, math is just suffering, basically.
For
like
me,
this child is suffering, apparently, because
this child, the one floating in the air right outside the wall you pointed at.
No, there's a baby crying.
Well, I think I feel like there does seem to be a discrepancy with what you're like saying versus what you're describing about your experience with math. For me, I think what is it? Like I said, it was kind of popular in high school. It's kind of popular to hate math. Everyone's just like, I don't like math, I hate math. And I think I went along with that just because it's like everyone was saying it. But so it's like, I would always say like, oh, I don't like math, but I'm good at it. Now looking back on it, and then not even, I think like the second half of high school or so, I think I started really to like enjoy math, because we had like a really good teacher, very energetic, very enthusiastic. And like for me, I view math more as like puzzles. We both like puzzle games. For me, a math problem typically is like a puzzle. And so I like taking it apart and solving it. Now, a lot of that since high school kind of is out the window. I can't do it anymore. But in the middle of it, when I'm learning it, I enjoyed it a lot. But, and it was cool of just like relating to the math teacher of like, he would talk about this and I'd be like, oh, I get it. Or I would feel smart if I like found another way, and then he was like, oh yeah, I did that too, when I was like younger, but actually you're wrong, and then I'd like work through it and like, oh my god, you're right, I am wrong, but like I thought I was smart, which I mean I was, but like I don't know, I just had like some really good math teachers in high school, and
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the problem solving nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like solving problems, and I like solving puzzles, when like especially when I know there's rules, you know what I mean? Like there's a
Mm-hmm.
set, there's like there's an answer and there's a way to get it, you know what I mean? And so it's like it's not like this abstract thing where I have to kind of like figure it out, or kind of like it's very structured, as opposed to I'll say something more artistic like music, where you just kind of feel it out, you know what I mean? It's like I
Mm-hmm.
know there's like steps and rules, and like
Well,
I feel
it's
like I
not
like
necessarily
that.
true for music because I feel like there's a lot of like really mathematical stuff that goes into music, especially with like, I don't know, time signatures and just like different sound frequencies and other weird stuff that goes into music that I don't quite understand. But I feel like music incorporates a decent amount of math, but I feel like as you were saying that I feel like a lot of other subjects in school, it's mostly memorization, whereas with math, it's like solving. Obviously, you have to like memorize formulas, but if you don't know, well, first of all, it's a lot of formulas, but the amount of variables present is just kind of wild because each problem is solved the same way, I guess, but you use different numbers and like trying to, like, if I had to memorize like one really specific math problem, how to work it out, I probably could have done that. But, I feel like math is more than just the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, the Normans invaded England in 1066, stuff like that. You
Oh
have
yeah.
to you have to actually work through it instead of just memorizing it.
Mm. Yeah, but you said it yourself. It's like you memorize the formulas, you memorize like the steps, and then the only thing
But
that
then you
changes.
get different numbers and different letters in different places, so it changes how everything works.
Uh-huh. She's
And
like,
if you don't,
I figured out 1 + 1, but what the frick is 1 + 2? I've never seen that before in my life.
but also a lot of advanced math, you have to work up to it. And I think what happened is that somewhere along the way, I figured out how to do like basic math stuff. Obviously, I can do basic arithmetic. Like that's not
Mm.
really a difficulty for me. But
Big
after
Shaq
that,
taught us both a lot.
but yeah, at some point, different like more advanced concepts ended up being introduced, and I either just like didn't get them, and they just passed me along because I was still on the honors track. I was still doing well in my other classes, so they just scoot on along. We don't need people hanging back here in our school system. And it's just like at some point, once we got to like pre-calculus, I guess, like I knew I could recognize there were steps that had to be taken to understand certain like I guess pre-calculus things. But I have I'm in calculus now. I'm at the end of the road. And I was fine at the beginning of the road, but somewhere in the middle of the road I got lost and I just never picked it back up. And fun fact, the only way I was actually able to pass pre-calculus and like be done with math in high school is that I cheated on the final test. And if I didn't do that, I probably would have failed. And who knows what would have happened. I mean, they probably would have just passed me along because honestly, my senior year of high school, I was doing so little actual schoolwork. It's like I don't know. But again, the school that I went to was garbage. It was failing school, probably still is. So, that stuff just ends up happening. But
I
I
think
think for me not being good at math just kind of ended up working out because, a lot of stuff past basic arithmetic doesn't inhibit you from being like a productive member of society. Like if I was illiterate, I probably would not make it very far in this world. But now that I am, literate, like just a basic level of literacy and I can communicate as well as I can in writing, I feel like it's good that I'm good at English and it's okay that I'm not that good at math.
I think something that pops in my mind that probably contributed to my enjoyment of math was like it didn't I think this was only like junior and senior year. maybe even just senior year, where it's like we had a lot of like study halls and stuff. Which did we have study hall? I don't know if it's like we had study halls or if it was like the dual enrollment kids had study halls, but I
Oh, yeah, I
think
had
it
that.
was I was in dual enrollment, and I think
Did you
it
finish?
was yeah. Wait, what?
Like, did you like finish
Finish what?
dual enrollment?
Well, I mean, dual enrollment for me, it's just like you just take some classes that count as both high school and college classes. So you go into college with some credits already.
Well, with me, it was supposed to be that once I finished dual enrollment, I would graduate high school, like a high school diploma and like an associate's degree. But I ended up dropping out because it was so stressful. Because again, a lot of academic pressures put on me when I was in reality an average student, and I had to take a college level. Honestly, it was a basic math class. It was what, like Math 101 or something like that. And the teacher was going so fast. I remember sitting in class being like, okay, I understood what we were doing last class, but now we've like all of a sudden moved on to like 10 more levels of like complexity, and now I'm like, just like lost. And that was definitely one of the contributing factors for me dropping out of college in high school. So, and that honestly had an adverse effect on my college GPA because I literally started at Belhaven with like a 2.7.
Well, as far as I know, the college, like dual enrollment, like it fluctuates. You can take as much or as little as you want now.
I think it depends on the program and also the state. Because
maybe.
For me, it was like through our community college.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, so was it for me. It was through our community college, but it, like, you can
What
take...
I've learned here, sorry, but what I've learned here, because I've been like asking questions about it at work and everything, because they deal with like students and stuff, but I think it works differently in Mississippi than it does in Alabama. So, yeah.
Well,
You were saying?
community college. Some of my classmates senior year took a lot of like they took like a couple, let's say like I don't know 4 or 5 dual enrollment classes. So that meant they were taking less like high school classes, more study halls, and then they went into college nearly already completing air quotes completing their freshman year. You know what I mean? Because they worked up enough credits. Me, I only did like I messed up the math and the numbers a little bit, but like I only did 4 classes, and so I only went in with like 12 credits. So it's like I had gone into college where that was a weird noise. I had gone into college with like 12 credits, so a little less than like a semester or so worth of credits. But like working at the bookstore, I met a girl that she's new at Belhaven, and she is like, it's her first year and she's the age of a freshman, but because of how much like dual enrollment she took throughout her junior and senior year, she's like technically a senior.
Yeah,
So,
see, I didn't want to do any of that because I feel like
that doesn't impact like the program. That's just what you didn't want to do. You know what I mean? That
what do
doesn't
you
mean
mean it doesn't impact the program?
well, you were saying like, oh, the programs might be different, but
Well, they are different, but I'm not saying like if I would have graduated with an associate's degree, I would have like started college as a junior technically, and then I would have graduated when I was like 19. And I did not want to do it, especially if at that time I was going to school for like English. It wouldn't have taken me that long. So I would have, especially if I was just doing like those classes, then it definitely wouldn't have taken me that long. And then I would have graduated way early, just like not even knowing like what the heck is going on. What do I want to do? I'm 19. I'm like out of college. What is like I wanted to have the most normal college experience that I could have had. I didn't want to do any of the weird smart kid things of being like, I don't know, 14 in a community college classroom with a bunch of adults. That was really weird to me. It just personally felt weird to me. Didn't really like it. And, I just wanted to be like normal.
No, it's not. For some people, I would say for some people, it's not like a smart thing. It's like,
I know, but I feel like the reputation.
Wait. Okay, you're cutting me off. Okay. I'm saying it's like a monetary thing because dual enrollment is significantly cheaper than college.
But I didn't understand that as like a teenager. I didn't care about that. Like it was my understanding that, okay, whatever, my parents want me to go to college, they're going to pay for it. So whatever happens. And like now I understand, as an adult, I understand that because when I was doing dual enrollment, we actually got a discount because my mom worked at the community college. So obviously that would have been the best monetary decision. But I guess that wasn't explained to me very well as a kid because it was just like, I didn't even get a choice in the matter. I was just told, ninth grade, you're doing dual enrollment. Have fun with that. And I feel like, especially around this time, like kind of middle and into high school and not really into college because, you know, there's some physical distance there. But my mom just kind of had these really weird, not weird, but a lot of academic expectations for me and a lot of other expectations as well. And I couldn't conform to that. And I guess that kind of led to a rift in our relationship when I was that age. So I felt like, especially during high school, I felt like I wasn't given a choice. I think that's what it comes down to, honestly, specifically for dual enrollment, because I have some emotions and feelings about that as well, but we're going to get to that later, or never. But I feel like specifically with dual enrollment and a lot of other things that I did in high school and sort of middle school, it's just, you're going to do this whether you like it or not, and just do it. And my feelings weren't considered much, if at all. And the only reason, it happened twice. The only reason I was able to quit dance, which is a whole other topic, is that my mom was out of town and my dad saw that I didn't want to do it anymore. So he was like, okay, you don't have to do it anymore. And then when I was doing dual enrollment, I was so stressed out. I was crying all the time. And my dad saw, again, my mom, I don't know if she was out of town at this point, but she wasn't there at home when this happened. I was just so stressed out and just like crying and just upset that I was being made to do this one thing that I didn't want to do. And I wasn't even doing it well. So it's like, what is the point? This is just like a waste of time and money and my emotions. And also just like a lot of other stuff was going on at the time. And he saw how just stressed out it was making me like feel, on top of being just like a teenage girl, which is just already a lot. So he was like, okay, Mom, you just can't let her do this anymore. This is obviously not good for her. So despite all of my dad's misgivings, he was usually the one who was looking out for my mental health, which is interesting to think about. So yeah.
So did you complete any of your dual enrollment classes?
I mean, yeah, I finished some classes, but obviously I had to drop that math one. I think I ended up making a C in like the biology class that I had to take. Also, it was during the school year, it was online, and I do not do well with online classes. It doesn't go well.
I feel like in my experience with dual enrollment, as far as I know, like all of the dual enrollment classes were online. It was basically like my senior year, we were just doing like a bunch of like English and other random stuff through Canvas, you know. Yeah.
But then in the summer, I actually went to the campus, which again, just a really strange experience. I remember being in the elevator, class was over. I was listening to these two ladies talk, and they were like, both in this class that I was in, and I believe it was English 101, they were like talking about their children that they have, and I'm literally 14 about to go home and play Minecraft. So it was just an odd environment to be in, and I didn't...
You were 14?
Yeah.
What year were you taking dual enrollment?
I started it was either during my 9th grade year or the summer after my 9th grade. No, I started the summer after my 9th grade year. So that's when that happened. So I was 14, and I did it up until, I want to say, my junior year, before everything just kind of fell apart. So.
Well, yeah, I feel like freshman year is very soon.
Yeah. But, and I remember it being weird because the English 101 class that I was taking, I'd already learned all that stuff in like 9th grade English. So I was like, wait, this is college? Like, I literally just learned all of this. But anyways, yes, to answer your question, I did take some classes. I had some credits that did transfer over to Belhaven. And of course, I had a college GPA that was very low because I think it was at the point in the semester where you can't like drop it and it have no effect. So when I eventually ended up dropping that math class, it like had a really bad effect on my GPA. So I started college with credits and a 2.7, which wasn't great. But yeah.
I was going to say something that I was trying to say was that I think something that contributed to me liking math a bit more now that I'm thinking about it is it didn't necessarily. So this is in the dual enrollment classes in the study halls, because they're online classes. You can get your work done, and then you just have nothing to do for an hour. If you get your work done early enough in the week, or if you just save it all for later, you can just still do nothing for an hour. But a lot of us, we had like a senior math after our study halls, and so we would all work on our math homework during that time. And what is it? With my skill in math, I feel like it made me like not exactly like popular, but like people talk to me because I was like good at math. You know what I mean? So it was like everyone's working on it, and then they're like, oh man, I'm done. I should check with Joseph. You know, like or like, hey, I'm really struggling with this. Joseph, can you help me with this? And I think that was a social aspect to math that I enjoyed. I feel like felt like we were a team. It's like obviously we were all doing our own thing, like, but it felt like we were all working on the same thing together, and we could help each other if we were struggling, or what else? Help each other if we were struggling, or I could be helped if I was struggling. But I feel like I liked that I don't know, that attention that I got. Especially from the cute girls. But what else? Yeah, I think I liked having the reputation of being smart, and I liked the attention it got with my skill in math. And I don't know, it's I like that popped into my head, because I feel like I don't constantly think about a lot of like fond memories from like high school. I feel like similar to math, it's popular to hate on high school, which if high school is yeah, I feel like it is. Everyone's like, oh, high school is the worst. I feel like that's like what a lot of people say.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
like more in retrospect, not while you're there. Because I mean, for me, it was the best times, it was the worst times.
Well, anyway, I think what is it? Yeah, I don't know. That's just a pleasant memory that kind of like popped into my head of just like, oh, like that was fun.
Well,
working on math homework, study hall, goofing around.
Well, it's good for you, because this topic is making me sad.
Well, I mean, maybe something happy will pop up eventually. Maybe not this
Not
episode.
Specifically related to those two things. I don't think so.
Yeah. Good times.
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. What else can I say?
We live in a society.
Oh my god. Man, I feel like that horse on that beach. Have you seen that picture?
No. The one of the horse on the beach? Yeah. Of course. Is it the beach that turns you old? Is it an old horse?
No.
Is it pregnant? It will be in about 30 seconds. And then it'll grow old and die, and so will its kid over the course of 30 minutes.
It's this one. It's a very contemplative horse.
Oh, wait. Man, I feel like I thought it. Oh, I'm thinking of Juan. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. No, I have seen that meme. I didn't know if it had a name or something. I just kind of seen
man.
It. Yeah, man. Yeah. No, I mean, I mean, I don't know entirely what that meme encapsulates, but yeah, I feel that way a little bit.
Once let's see, I don't know what I can compare it to. I felt like that horse on that beach after I finished the hit HBO series
Narcos.
No.
Wait.
Narcos is not on HBO. It's on Netflix.
Game of Thrones.
No. It was... Oh, my God. It's more recent.
The Wire.
No, I haven't finished The Wire.
The Sopranos.
No.
You haven't finished The Wire?
I started watching it, but I couldn't get into it. Okay.
Why couldn't you get into it? I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, and you're grilling me.
Exactly.
Gosh, what is it? It's not Sorry to Bother You. That's not what it's called. I May Destroy You. I felt like that at the end of that series, and you haven't seen that, but...
You told me about it. Yeah. It sounded interesting. I probably won't watch it, but...
What?
What?
You said but.
Yeah, I know. I thought it would be funny if I just didn't say anything.
Okay. Basically, the meme, it feels like after you've thought about something, or you just need time to, like, it's just man.
You gotta process it.
Yeah. Like, you're a horse on a beach looking at the waves, and it's just like, man.
There's a melancholy nature to the meme.
Yes.
Yeah. Play some sad music on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, also another adding to the man levels. What is it? That was 5 years ago?
What?
4 years ago? Sitting in high school study hall doing dual enrollment math. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I thought it affects me thinking about time that way. I thought it might affect you. I guess not.
I don't know. You always hear those hypotheticals like, if you suddenly woke up and you're like 8 years old again, what would you do? And I would probably, this is going to sound really macabre, but I probably want to, like, game end myself, because knowing all the things that happened from, like, the age of 8 to, like, now, I don't know if I could do that again. Like, it's kind of too much, and doing it once was fine. I'm past it now. The past is the past for a reason, and I just don't want to go through some things again. It's just too much. I couldn't do it. So, some people, they're always like, oh, I would buy some Bitcoin. I would invest in Apple. But, like, I would have an existential crisis.
It sounds like a potentially racist
Against who?
Indian.
No!
It sounds like you're doing Apu from The Simpsons.
No, I was just doing a silly Redditor voice.
You saying all Indians use Reddit?
No.
Arin.
But anyways,
Arin.
that was unintentional,
Arin.
listeners.
Hank Azaria, he doesn't play Apu anymore.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. Because he's white.
Yep.
I don't have an issue with Apu. I wanted to make fun of your voice.
Okay.
Your racist voice.
Joseph. Anyway. But yeah. Can we talk about something happy?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I am happy somewhat. I don't know. I feel like I find myself to be a very nostalgic person. And so the idea of, like, waking up younger, or, like, reliving my life, but like with the same consciousness now, that is a fascinating concept. I feel like if I could do it, I feel like I would want to, but I it's not like time travel. I don't want to change anything. I just want to, like, see it again, but from, like, I don't know, more enlightened perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which
yes.
I guess you sort of can do just by, like, digging up old memories and reflecting on them. Like, how did that affect my life, and what I don't know, what was that like, or something that may have been really hard as a kid, you may look back on as an adult and be like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Or the worst side of it, of, like, you could look back at it as a kid, and you're like, as a kid, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And then as an adult, you're like, oh, that was a lot, to go through. And so I think I just like that retrospection and introspection. And if I could, like, live my life again, I feel like I would like to, but, like, as a passive observer, just curious about, like,
I mean, I guess even, like, going back and trying to change things would be interesting, but there are some things that you just can't prevent, They're going to happen no matter what.
Interesting.
So.
What makes you say that?
I mean, people die. People get old.
Okay.
People get ill.
There's some inevitabilities, but, like, I mean, like, how it happens could change. What if, like, I mean, if someone, like, died in a war because they got shot, but then you, like, moved them out of the way of the bullet, it's like that could completely change everything. Like, yeah, they're still gonna die, but, like, how they die and what happens, that would be completely changed.
I mean, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like there's, like, no use in, like, thinking like that because I can't do it. So it's gonna make me even more sad.
I mean, it's just a thought experiment. I mean, I think
it is, but
I think the use is that it can make you a smarter and a more, I don't know, aware person. But, like, But I mean, like, it can also be overdone. Like, I don't think it's like, you know.
It's making me sad again.
Okay. I don't know. We have very different perspectives on that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, I think there is like a sad nature to it too. Of like, for me, it's like it's like, oh, what if like that relationship didn't end, or like what if that friendship didn't end, or what if I wasn't mean to that person? What if I was nicer to that person? You know, stuff like that. I think that can be overdone because then you just might live in like a sea of regret. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I more want to like better understand myself than like think too much on the past of like what could I have done like differently or something.
And I guess for me, when thinking about these like hypotheticals, it's not really that I have like regrets. Because honestly, I don't. I mean, if I did, I mean, there might be some things I would change, but then if I did, I wouldn't be the person that I am now, which I quite like. So, it's just knowing how the future will play out for me. It's just, I don't want to do all that again. And even though I do like become this person that I do like, it's like everything that it takes to get there is just too much.
What if you could fast forward?
What, like click? Does he fast forward and click, or does he just like?
Well, he fast forward. He never like goes back in time. He just goes forward in time.
Oh.
I'm saying like if you could go back and then like just skip whatever you want to skip. You know what I mean? All the explosive diarrheas, all the tummy aches, all the bullying. Just skip whatever you want to skip. What if you just like you can relive the good? You could relive the, I don't know, maybe some of the bad, selective bad. What about that?
But then I don't think it would.
You don't have to go through the whole thing. Let's make it less daunting.
Okay, but I still feel like, okay, hypothetically we're going back, and like I know that, I don't know, I'm in my 22-year-old mind or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I know that these things are going on in the background, and it's like that here I am, as a child, what is it called? I don't know, blissfully unaware of the things that are happening around me, but also simultaneously I have my adult mind knowing what's going on around me, and it's just like I wouldn't be able to enjoy it. You know?
I don't know. I think that I don't know. I think that's something I would highly enjoy. I feel like it may make me like really sad or something. Like I don't, the example popped into my mind of like we were both alive for like 9/11, but we weren't old enough to really like comprehend it. We could go back and like actually experience that tragedy. That
sounds. Where's would I want to do that?
I don't know, because I mean, it gives you more perspective. You become like, I feel like you could argue that potentially it could make you like a better person going through hardship.
I'm going to have to disagree specifically with the 9/11 thing, because that, I don't know.
Well,
even at my big age of 22 years, if I saw something like 9/11 happening before me, I don't know how I would like recover from that.
Everyone else did.
I mean, they did, but like at what cost?
Well, I mean,
the United States that we live in now is vastly different from the pre-9/11 United States.
But we're talking on a personal level.
I'm saying like, on a personal level.
No, but you're saying the United States. Like I'm talking person to person.
I don't think that. I just don't think it would be worth it.
No, I mean, it would take a toll. I just think, okay, maybe why you don't think it would be worth it. This is just me thinking, is because like you can comprehend 9/11 like better than I can. Maybe. Okay. You know what I mean? Like you can understand the gravity and the severity of that tragedy. Meanwhile, for me, like it happened, but for me, it's practically fiction. You know what I mean? It's a fairy tale like years ago. I have no idea what it was like. I didn't see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, would it really be worth it to see like hundreds of people die before your eyes on television just so that you would come out on the other side as like a better person? Like, I don't think the legit post-traumatic stress is worth it.
I don't know if everyone got post-PTSD.
Well, it comes in levels, you know? It's not like it's not just like being in a war zone.
Uh-huh.
I would argue that most people who witnessed 9/11 happening live suffered some kind of post
Well, I
traumatic
mean, I
stress
witnessed
from it.
it.
Well, what do you mean you witnessed it?
I saw it on TV.
But you don't remember it.
No, I don't. But I did.
Exactly, because you weren't at an age where your brain wasn't even fully developed. It was like soup.
I was 3. I was using full sentences. I was upset about it. I don't remember being upset about it, but I was
Exactly,
upset.
you don't remember it. I feel like that's the big thing there. But anyways, PTSD comes in levels, and for some people it doesn't last forever. It may linger on a little bit, but as I was saying, I would argue that most of the people who witnessed 9/11 happen live suffered some kind of post-traumatic stress from it, just not, the level of being in Afghanistan or something like that. So
I don't know. I think I don't know. I think of it just like, well, okay, sorry. I'm like, my mind's going in a bunch of different directions. I still think that, like, if I could go back and like just go back into my like childhood brain, but with my current 23-year-old brain, and like actually experience it, I feel like I would. I would want to, because I don't know. I feel like I
mean, I guess I can understand wanting to do that to be able to relate with other people on a better level, but I don't know. I still don't think it's worth it.
I just want to understand and comprehend the event, and I feel like I can't, because it's like in the past. I mean, I can try, but it's like it's still not experiencing it, Which even then, there's still like levels of like experiencing it on TV versus like actually being in New York.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like I want to say that I feel like it wouldn't be as traumatic as you're thinking it would be. Where it's like, there's like our current day, there's like a terrible thing happening with like Russia invading Ukraine. And it's like, I'm not getting any like PTSD from that. But I think
that's
like,
not on American soil.
Yeah, I think that's where the difference is.
You're not seeing people get shot on TV.
I mean, I feel like could you?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's very ethical to show people getting game ended on television, but there have been some instances. There's the massacre in Bucha, where there were just bodies littered everywhere, and they showed that on TV, and that definitely had an effect on me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get why they did that, to show how terrible Russia is being in the Ukraine, but I don't know. That feels a little unethical to me. Maybe it's just because of the way I react upon seeing a dead body, but I don't know, man. I get it, but I really wish I didn't see it.
Yeah. No, I think I was just trying to say like I was saying like there is a current tragedy going on, but like I'm not getting any PTSD from it. But yeah, there is a difference of like, I feel like if I was a Ukrainian seeing that, then like, yeah, I might be getting some PTSD.
Yeah, but also I think what made 9/11 so just wild is that, for the most part, everybody saw it happen, right? I think most newscasts didn't show the first plane hitting, but all of them showed the second plane hitting. And at first, what people thought was that it was just an accident. But as soon as people saw that second plane hit, they knew something absolutely terrible has just happened, and something absolutely terrible is going to happen after this. And this is a major attack on American soil. Not even really by like another like sovereign state, but just like by a terrorist group. But still, it's, I don't know, imagine, people, I guess in the generation before that, watching Pearl Harbor happen right before their eyes. Not just the people in Hawaii, but people just like watching it on TV, just thinking, oh, there's like a fire at Pearl Harbor, but all of a sudden you see bombs coming down. Like, I don't know. I really don't know how to make you see how just wild is the only word that I can use, but it was a really big deal. And even as someone who didn't see it happen because I was a literal baby whose brain was soup, I can...
You were a baby during Pearl Harbor?
No.
How old are you?
Anyway, even though I didn't witness it firsthand, just seeing like the footage from that day and even like the fictionalized accounts from it. So like, what is it? Flight 93, that movie that I watched, which was a bad idea. I can tell. And like hearing, or I guess reading people talk about, where they were on that day, how they felt, all of that kind of stuff. I can identify just how awful that was to be there, like in New York, or just watching it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And just that sinking feeling knowing that the United States is about to go to war.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know with who yet, but whoever did this, they've got hell to pay, basically. And then just the aftermath of that, just like, a lot of people, especially in high school, went and enlisted in the military, and a lot of them did not come back. And if they did come back, they were horribly mentally scarred.
Mm-hmm.
So that event had a serious ripple effect on the psyche of the United States, I think. And like I said, the USA we live in now is very different from the USA that we lived in on September. Oh, when did it happen?
When did?
No, I'm trying to do the day before. It happened on the 1st, so like not November. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, 9/11 classically happened on November 1st.
August 31st, 2001. We'll say. So it was just like a major shift in.
Did you say it happened on the 1st?
September 1st, 2001? 9/11. Jesus Christ. September 10th.
September 10th?
Yes. This is the day before.
Okay.
So, I feel like, I don't know.
Well, okay. No, I think we comprehend history differently.
Yeah.
I think, for me, associated with film, like, history for me, I cannot connect with at all unless I'm being, like, shown it. If you tell me it, I don't.
You haven't seen the, like, news reports from that day?
I have. I can connect with that a little bit. I think, and it's not like I want to like go back in history like and experience like every tragedy. I don't want to be like in World War II. You know what I mean? It's just like I was alive for 9/11 but have no memory and like couldn't comprehend what was happening. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like I missed out on. That's a poor wording, but like I'm just saying like I don't know. I guess that's a significant event in that I was alive for, but like, brain soup, not really alive, whatever.
I didn't know you were 3. I was like, I just turned 2 probably.
Well, I guess technically I was 2 and was about to turn 3 in like a month.
Yeah.
But
no,
what is
I
it?
was.
Well, my parents, so like I said, no memory, but like my parents would always say, which I guess I'd have to check with the parent I do talk to, and because this story was always recounted by the parent I don't talk to. But what is it? Basically, they would always say like, it was like, oh yeah, you were watching the TV and you reacted to 9/11 as it was happening. You were like really sad. You were like, oh my God, all those mommies and daddies, they're dying. Like, but I don't know. I don't have any memory of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I don't know what other
be there when Kennedy gets his head blown in. Anything else super traumatic?
Well, that's like so. Well, I mean, almost what is it? Reflexively, I said yes because it's like, because it's so sensationalized in like fiction now. You know what I mean? Stephen King's wrote a book about JFK.
The JFK assassination.
Yeah. He wrote
he wrote a lot of books. I might have missed out on this.
I'm pretty sure it's just called the date that it happened. Like it's 11/22/63.
Oh,
that's a book.
I didn't know that was about the Kennedy assassination because they adapted it.
It's also about time travel. Yeah, It's like a Hulu show with James Franco.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of 9/11, you hear any of those? You hear about any of those memes kind of making fun of? So we already talked about like turning red a little bit. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but
no. No.
Okay. Yeah, we did talk about it on the podcast because you were like, "Oh, these dudes, they're like, I can't relate to it."
Said. Yeah.
Well, what is it? I don't think I got mad. I was just like, "Oh, it doesn't necessarily need to be brought up because it's like ridiculous." But like, I understand why you brought it up, but it's like, it seemed like you were having like an emotional reaction to it where I'm just like, oh, like it's just someone
it's
having
the
like
thing
a
where I
bad
said
take.
that. Yeah, okay.
There
I
people were
remember
like,
this
oh, I
now.
can't relate to Turning Red, and I was like, well, like Anyway, I have now since seen Turning Red. It's great. It is very relatable, even though I am not a female.
God. Okay.
But what is it? I saw that there was some memes apparently where it was so Turning Red.
Oh, because they didn't include 9/11 or something
Yeah,
like
because
that.
it's set in like 2002. You know what I mean? And so it was like I watched a lessons in meme culture video about it where it was like it was basically like edits of Turning Red where they talk about 9/11. And
Just the worst take possible.
but it was like
Also, this takes place in Canada.
yeah. But I mean, it affected the world.
It did,
affected the
but
world. But no. It's
anyway.
the memes are making fun of like
This
like
person's bad take.
the criticism Turning Red because it's like the meme that I saw in the video was like really funny where it was like this domino effect and it's like criticizing Turning Red for like, oh my god, how am I gonna explain periods to like my daughter, you know what I mean, who's like I guess not having periods yet. And then it's like that was the beginning, the really small domino, and at the end it was like, yo, why didn't they put 9/11 in Turning Red? Why didn't they talk about the cultural impact of it in this kids movie?
Also, periods are not that hard to explain. Anyway.
I mean, to like a 6-year-old or like a 8-year-old.
You could definitely explain it to an 8-year-old.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because some girls are getting periods at 8. It's kind of rare, but it does happen then.
Okay.
You can.
What about like a 4-year-old?
I mean, is a 4-year-old even going to sit still and listen?
Yes.
You know? Well,
they're going to watch Turning Red like 10 times every day until the next Disney movie comes out.
Well, then you just explain it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, just get good. Like,
I mean,
get good, parents. I'll explain it to your kids for you. You need to upload a video, Aaron, on your next YouTube channel, your next YouTube video for your channel. It's gonna be a YouTube Kids video. Comments turned off. You can't play it in the background or whatever. And it's gonna be you explaining periods to 2-year-olds.
Okay.
You're like, hey kids, and then I don't know.
No, that is my normal intro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
how do you do, fellow kids?
You wouldn't know because you're a fake fan.
Aaron, I never claimed to be a fan.
Well,
you can't call me a fake fan if I never was one. Get the frick out of here. All right, that's it. We're doing the outro.
It's only been... All right, fine. We can end it.
Yeah. How long has it been, actually? I don't know.
Hour 38.
Yeah, that's a good length. These chairs are not comfy. My butt hurts.
Well, that's what you get for having a Hank Hill butt.
All right. Need to put more pocket sand.
No, that's Dale.
To cushion it. I've never seen King of the Hill.
Really?
No.
Oh, man. Missing out.
I know that I've seen the memes. I know that he sells propane or whatever.
And propane accessories.
Bobby is his son. Pocket sand. Someone has pocket sand.
Dale.
What else? Yeah.
Okay. Well, you should watch it. It's nice. Should be on HBO Max. I don't see why I wouldn't do it.
We've already established that. What is it? What have we established? We've established that you are bad at math, and then I don't watch a lot of TV.
Okay. I mean, I feel like it's...
Those are our two defining traits.
A couple of episodes.
It's going to say on my tombstone.
Okay, whatever.
Joseph didn't watch a lot of TV.
Anyway, this has been the 14th episode of the Not Just Arin podcast.
What the frick was that?
I don't know.
She said that was my improv. I've been working on it.
Anyway, we are available on all major podcast platforms. That is Spotify, Google, Apple, Anchor, and YouTube. So we are Not Just Arin podcast, I think. Oh God, fake fan. Anyway, fake fan of my own work. Anyway, what else? Oh, follow us. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Follow us on social medias. That is at Not Just Arin Pod, Twitter and Instagram, even though I hardly use them. Whoopsie daisy. Life is hard. What can I say? To discuss all things, not just Arin, you can use the hashtag NJAPod. And also follow me on YouTube at It's Just Arin. I have fun things coming up. I just posted a video yesterday, and you should watch it because it's good and short.
How short?
57 seconds.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that is pretty short.
It is indeed.
Because you want to cash in on that YouTube Shorts views.
Yeah, I did not.
Hey, it takes time.
I guess, but I'll tell you about it later.
You just expected you're just gonna upload one video and then it's like 1 million views. Boom.
Well, sort of, and I will tell you about it later. Anyway, who are we sponsored by?
9/11.
Okay.
Couldn't have done this episode without you. Appreciate it.
We gotta go. Goodbye.